Fancy trying something a bit different? Then why not try Nyam Nyam's rock candy cake decoration hack? It looks really interesting, doesn't it? You start by melting some rock candy in a little bit of water, heating gently on the stove. Give it a stir until all the rock candy has melted and you've got a kind of paste. Add your blue food colouring. Then we pour that out onto some baking paper. And we leave that to set. Smash it up with your fist. That's the fun part. Next, get your vanilla cake and start layering it with blue buttercream icing. Of course, if you have a favourite colour, you can change it. How about purple? Smooth that over so there's no excess sticking out. And then cover the outside with pink buttercream icing. Blue, purple and pink. This is our main colour combination, but you can use your favourite colours, whatever you like. Once that is all nicely smoothed over, we can add on some decoration. We're using more buttercream icing, purple and blue, to just add dashes of it around the outside like so. Now smooth that over, removing the excess, and you create a kind of marble effect. Start sticking on your rock candy, using these blue pebble-like shapes, all the way from the bottom to the top, up the side, and along the top, creating a kind of rock candy waterfall. And then add in your larger shards. It looks kind of like glass or ice. If you have a child that loves the movie Frozen, you could try something like this. It does look like ice, so you could stick to a blue icy effect and it would look fantastic. I'm sure Elsa would just love to be there too. A fantastic work of art, which I'm sure tastes fantastic too. Wow. Why not try it? Go on. A giant macaron cake filled with buttercream and candies is surely going to impress your friends and family. Nyam Nyam brings to you this lovely macaron cake that is made with caster sugar, butter, eggs, flour and some food colour. So, let's get started. All you need is 227 grams of caster sugar and the same in butter. Whisk that together in a mixing bowl. Add 4 eggs to that, whisk that in too, and then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence and 2 cups of self-raising flour with a pinch of baking powder. Whisk it all together with blue food dye. Right, that's going to be separated out into 2 baking tins to bake at 180 degrees for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we get 114 grams of caster sugar and the same in butter. Mix those together in a bowl and add 2 eggs this time. Whisk it all up and add half a teaspoon of vanilla essence and 114 grams of self-raising flour. Bake that at 180 degrees for 20 minutes. Let it cool, and meanwhile you're going to start perfecting your blue cake. So we're going to just tidy it up, add some buttercream frosting, tidy it up again and cover it in blue fondant icing, cutting off the excess. Now we're going to get our vanilla cake and we're going to just cut the middle out. Turning your blue cake upside down, then putting on some icing to stick your ringed vanilla cake on top, filling the middle with candy. Add some more buttercream to stick on the final blue cake, which we have decorated just like we did the first one. Some more buttercream goes in the middle of those 2 slices and some pretty blue buttercream around the edge. Slice that up. And look at your gorgeous candy-filled giant macaron cake. A beautiful looking galaxy Swiss roll cake is surely irresistible. Nyam Nyam brings to you a step-by-step process of how to bake this wonderful cake. For this we need only a few ingredients, like icing sugar, egg whites, flour, oil and some food colours. So let's get started. First of all, just sprinkle a little icing sugar on some baking paper in a baking tray. Then whisk up 200 grams of egg whites in a bowl. Sift in 100 grams of plain white flour and 100 grams of sugar with 30 millilitres of vegetable oil. Stir that all up and spoon it into 3 separate bowls. Ready to add your food colouring, starting with purple, then blue, and light blue, all the galactic colours. Spoon those onto your baking tray, mixing up the colours, layering it to create a kind of marbled effect. Let it look messy, like a splash art painting. You're going to bake that in the oven and add your buttercream. Ready to roll into your Swiss roll shape. Nice and easy, does it? Another sprinkle of icing sugar, slice your portion, and there you have it, gorgeous Galaxy Swiss roll. If you're looking for a show-stopping cake for your next special occasion, then this special unicorn drip cake is the recipe for you. It may be small in size, but it's bursting with flavour, using simple ingredients from your kitchen like eggs, flour, butter, sugar and cream, and a little bit of food colouring. So, let's get started. To start up, we need some butter, 170 grams, with the same amount of caster sugar. Mix that together in a mixing bowl with a spatula. Whisk it up with an electric whisk if you have one to save time. You can then whisk in 3 eggs and 170 grams of flour, a little bit at a time. Making sure the flour doesn't go everywhere. Add 1 teaspoon of baking powder to that. And some purple food dye, or whichever colour you prefer. Now our mixture is ready, we can put it in our baking tin, which we're just going to lightly grease with butter first. A little bit of flour too, to stop the cake from sticking to the bottom and the sides. Spoon in your cake mixture. And you can do this several times. Put the remaining mixture into a separate cake tin. Bake at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. Right, now they're all ready, we can get our buttercream frosting. Add some yellow food dye, or again, whichever colour you prefer. We love the purple and yellow combination. Stick it in a piping bag, ready to decorate. We're going to slice the top off our first round cake. And pipe on our yellow buttercream icing. Layer upon layer, using our 3 cakes. Now we put that to chill, and then cover the entire outside in our yellow buttercream. Chill again. Add more buttercream. And you can just repeat this process depending on how much buttercream you would like to add. Now we've got some edible glitter, which we're going to sprinkle around the outside, on the bottom. Now time for our rectangular cake. We split that in half and start breaking it up. Crumbling it into cake crumbs. And then spooning on some yellow buttercream icing to stick it all together, forming a dome. Now that little dome we're going to cover in buttercream. Chill it. Cover it again, just like we did with the other cakes. And that's going to go on top of our cake. Now we get 100 grams of white candy melts and melt them with some double cream. Purple food dye gets added to that. And we're just going to spoon that on top of our finished cake. Let it drip down the sides. It's going to drip off that dome there. And for a finishing touch, you can get an ice cream cone. Use some edible glue and some edible glitter to sparkle it up. And there you have it. Sparkly unicorn drip cake. Dripalicious.
These are some stunning designs. Let's start with a simple pre-made vanilla cake. You can get them from most good supermarkets and bakeries. Set out the cake and carefully begin to remove any excess frosting. We're trying to get a nice, even, smooth surface to work with. It's already tasty as it is, but we're going to add some extra style. You can use a spatula or a large knife to even out all the surfaces. Pretty smooth. Once you're happy that the cake is neat, flat and ready to work with, then you're ready to move on to the next step. Set the cake aside so that you have some more space that you can use to work. Now take 3 pieces of fondant, white, light pink and bright pink, and roll them out flat to about 1 centimetre thick each. Sprinkle them with flour before you do to stop them sticking, and try to have equal amounts of each colour. Once they're rolled, use a heart-shaped cutting tool to remove heart-shaped segments from the fondant. Make sure you're careful in cutting these out to get the shapes exactly right. Then you can begin carefully removing the shapes and scattering them around the sides of the cake to create a lovely collage of hearts all around the cake itself. Try to space them out equally, as this will create the best surrounding for the cake design. This is a really cool and sweet design, pardon the joke, to make for someone. You can even add a fondant heart on top with a special message of your choice. Like so. Perfect for that special someone. What a great way to show it's been made with love. And it's delicious too, with that ever popular vanilla cake base. The important thing is you need to remember to share the cake. Perfect. On to our next suggestion. Let's start with another delicious vanilla cake. Now start placing strips of icing sugar around the sides of the cake at regular intervals. They need to look like flower stalks, like making an edible garden. Pipe some tasty buttercream icing at the top of each strip to create beautiful flowers. You can use all your favourite colours. We've used yellow, blue and pink, but you can choose your favourite colours if you like. Make sure to be very delicate to make the flowers as pretty as you can. As an extra special detail, you can use green icing to create the leaves of the flowers. And as you can see, the leaves add some extra style to this design. You can get creative with the size and the design of the flowers, using as many different colours as you like. Perhaps even add a message on top. Now all that's left is for you to take a slice and enjoy. And now number 3, start with the base vanilla cake and take a few cut down straws. Place them into the top of your cake like struts. Then on top you just place another vanilla cake. Scrape off the excess frosting for a nice, even, smooth surface to work on, as with our other suggestions. Maybe put it all into a bowl and keep it on the side for a little treat later. Sounds good. Next we're going to work with one of my favourite ingredients, melted white chocolate with added pink food dye. Spread it thinly onto a cutting board, let it cool and become solid, then use those heart-shaped stamps again to cut as many hearts as you can from the chocolate. When you've made as many cutouts as you can, carefully use a knife or a sharp spatula to remove the hearts from the board, like so, and you can slot these onto the soft frosting around the cake in whatever pattern you like. Repeat the steps with red and white coloured chocolate for a great pattern. Add little gems of piped icing sugar for a delicious finishing touch. When all that is done, you can grab a slice for yourself and for someone special, and sit back and enjoy all your hard work. This is a great idea as a romantic personal gift for someone you love. Why not take some pictures and let us know how your decorations turned out? Enjoy!
When you take a basic cake and you're just going to make it into an absolutely fantastic showstopper, all you need is a basic vanilla sponge cake. Using kitchen roll, yes, kitchen roll, we can separate out our segments. We're going to make 3 deep holes in each of our segments. Now, in go our fillings. Nutella is going to go in the first segment, topped off with mixed nuts. Next, we're going to put blueberry flavoured cream cheese and some blueberry jam to top it all off. Then strawberry flavoured whipped cream and, of course, strawberry jam. Finally, orange flavoured whipped cream and, yes, orange jam. We're going to close up those holes because we have kept the top, our little lids there. Now we're going to add some cream cheese frosting on top, using an ice cream scoop for ease, spreading it out evenly. Now time to separate off our segments. So we're going to sprinkle some cocoa powder over the first segment. Over the third segment, we're going to grate some dried strawberry. We can remove our kitchen towel now. Then we're going to add blueberry jam. And finally, dried coconut. Now, dollops of whipped cream go on there. We're going to add chocolate bar and Oreo wafer roll. Next, some more whipped cream, of course, and a fresh blueberry and a sprig of mint. Our third option is going to be white chocolate and a fresh strawberry, of course. Last but not least, we're going to add some lime and marshmallow. You can be creative with this. Add whatever you like. Slice those up. And there we have it. Big square cake. Choose your flavour. Delicious. Nyam Nyam brings to you 3 easy cake decorating ideas that will blow your mind. All you need is some basic butter cake, ready to slice into your shapes to form your masterpiece. So we're making a cocktail glass, and we're going to scoop on some buttercream icing on the top segment, which is in the shape of a triangle. We're going to just spread that out. Lovely vibrant colour for our drink. Now we're using white buttercream icing for the bottom of our glass. Being quite generous with our layers here because we love buttercream icing. That's right, we like a nice thick layer of that as well as a nice dense cake. Now we're going to put some white along the top too, that will be the rim of our glass. And don't forget to colour in your fruit. Yellow and green, that will be our lemon and lime. Adding a few pine nuts for our seeds. Now throwing in some rock candy along the white strip at the top. Looks a bit like salt. And there you have it. Perfect for cocktail parties. Go on, dig in. Too good to last too long. For our next recipe, we're getting a circle butter cake, cutting it in half. We're also getting a square, putting it together to make a heart, and using red buttercream icing, piping it in through a food piping bag with a serrated edge nozzle to form a beautiful effect, using fondant icing to decorate it with a bow and a ribbon. And there you have a butter cake heart, perfect for your loved ones. And it's worth mentioning and super easy to slice into segments too. Well, waste not, want not. For our next recipe, we're going to cut out what looks like a kind of slanted house shape from our butter cake. Now this one is absolute genius, you'll never guess what it is yet. So, keeping our slanted house shape, we're going to snip off the end of some food piping bags containing different coloured buttercream icings, and we're just going to alternate them one by one until we get to the top part where we're going to do it all yellow. Smoothing that over with a flat knife or spatula. Now let's decorate it with some vibrant coloured buttercream, using the serrated edge nozzle this time to give it a really nice effect. Some pearl sprinkles for a finishing touch. And voila, a cake, which looks like a cake.
Neapolitan cake is so lavish, and I think you'll agree that you'll never guess from the outside what's hiding inside. Firstly, let's begin with 150 grams of Oreos stored in a freezer bag and crush them gently with a rolling pin. Pour the crumbs into a bowl, add 120 grams of melted butter and mix them together really well with a spatula. Spoon this mixture into a cake tin, spread it thinly and evenly around the base, then set it aside to chill for about an hour. While it chills, heat 90 grams of sugar, 150 millilitres of sweetened condensed milk, 100 millilitres of milk, and mix these together like so. Then add 120 grams of blooming gelatin into the pan and stir until they are well mixed and look like custard. Now, in a mixer, take 400 grams of cream cheese and mix it with your yellowy mixture to make a thick, creamy paste. Blitz this for at least a minute to combine the ingredients properly. Pour 300 millilitres of whipping cream into a bowl and beat it really well. Then add the mixture of cream cheese and whisk it through by hand gently to introduce some air to the mixture. Now to create the layers, divide the pre-made mix into 3 different bowls. To create the coloured layers, add chocolate sauce, strawberry sauce, or vanilla extract respectively to the pre-made mix. Stir the colourings through thoroughly, then you can begin to freeze each of the layers in the tin one by one. Start with the chocolate layer first. Pour it into the mix, then freeze for 15 to 20 minutes to let it set. Repeat the same step with the strawberry layer, smoothing the mixture out and freezing for 20 minutes. Then do the vanilla layer and freeze it fully for 2 hours. Finally, remove the cake from its tin and garnish it with some fresh, juicy strawberries. This is a really stunning, delicious and impressive creation to make for someone, or just for yourself as a treat, of course. You can even try making different flavoured layers by experimenting with different extra ingredients. There you go. Enjoy!